2023 presidency. Reactions as FFK insists on a power shift to the South for equity and justice. So FFK now is speaking about equity and justice, and power should move from the North to the South. Anybody hearing him talk would think that he means well for the Southerners. He's not to be trusted. I'm sure his principal, which is the APC presidential candidate Bola TINUBU, is from the South and has an issue of Muslim ticket. But I'm sure FFK is canvassing for TINUBU, having come from the South, and he's using the language equity and justice for the South because he thinks he can get the pity and the support of the Southerners by towing that route. Let's see what he has more to say. With less than 60 days to the much anticipated 2023 presidential elections, reactions have begun trailing the most recent comments made by the All Progressive Congress APC chieftain and former aviation minister Femi Fani-Kayode regarding the contentious issue of a power shift from the northern region of the country to the south. In a lengthy article published on his verified Facebook a few hours ago, FFK, who is the director of the new media project in the APC Presidential Campaign Council, argued that it was not proper for power to remain in the north, especially after 8 years of the Muhammadu Buhari regime. According to him, for the sake of justice, the presidential race ought to be between the duo of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Peter Gregory Obi. He wrote, "Whether you stand with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as I do, or with Peter Obi as my friend and brother Basharu Akin Oshitoku does, is neither here nor there, because for either of the two to win, there must be a power shift. The North must be ready, to let go of power." Now, wow, the North must be ready to let go of power. So, now this is his tweet. In any case, this whole ugly and unfolding scenario begs for an answer to a wider question, namely, should the South be denied the presidency for the next 8 years, having not had it for the last 8 years, simply because we come from the wrong part of the country? Whether you stand with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as I do, or with Mr. Peter Obi as my friend and brother Basharu Akin Oshitoku does, is neither here nor there, because for either of the two to win, there must be a power shift. The North must be ready to let go of power, and an Atiku presidency must not be allowed to see the light of the day. They say politics and democracy is a game of numbers, and this is true, but it must also be guided by justice, decency, principle, and honor. We are free to make our choices about who to support, but let those choices be bound in equity, justice, and fairness. So that is what Fani-Kayode is saying. Quite interestingly, the APC chieftain's post drew a flurry of reactions from Nigerians who trooped to the comment section to share their thoughts. While some persons agree with FFK on the demand for a power shift to the South, others, however, insisted that if the principle of equity and justice must be applied, then the Southeast should be given the chance to produce the next president. A few persons argue that there is no such thing as power shift in the Nigerian constitution. I know that is what they will say. And so these are a few comments in response to FFK's tweet. All right. One of Niger 4 says, "For justice, equity, and fairness, power must shift to the South in general and Southeast in particular. Anything outside this is injustice." And another person is saying here, calling out to one Adamu Musa Kaluma, "You must Okay, you made some valid points, but Southeast deserved it better at this point. That's correct. So these are a few of the tweets, responding to FFK's message on the Twitter. All right. Another person saying, "I don't believe in rotational presidency. Let the best candidate with network, all right, across Nigeria emerge. I believe in a candidate. I believe in a candidate that will do justice to all regions, coordinate Nigeria, all right, coordinate Nigerian natural and human resources to produce results, and human resources here. So a candidate that has workable plan with deliverables documented as a guide for governance. Bringing any candidate on the basis of rotational presidency is not what Nigeria wants in the 21st century Nigeria. I don't believe in someone coming to occupy presidential seat just simply because he is from a particular region. He will just be biased against other regions as we are witnessing now. And this typically creates disharmony, disunity, and agitation for secession." Wow, that is valid anyway. But then on the other side, if you look at Peter Obi has a very wide acceptance, very wide network across Nigeria as well. Though he hails from the southeast side, so everything works out well for him. That's what I think. Somebody said, "You see who is preaching equity, fairness, and justice is very good. But let's be honest and apply moral conscience in making such a demand. We all know where the presidency should go based on the principles you highlighted." All right. So these are the people that have responded to FFK's tweet that if power must shift, it must shift to the south. Right? And I know that, like I said earlier, his principal is from the south. Okay, and he's canvassing that because he knows that when it comes to the south, he can then fight to have it for his principal. That is Bola Ahmed TINUBU of the All Progressive Congress APC. Okay, but what FFK is trying to say is that whether they support for whoever that support TINUBU or Peter Obi, whoever, that is neither here nor there because both of them are from the south. But the fact is that either of them will have to win and have to power must come to the south. So he's trying to be neutral here. He did not mention particular support for TINUBU or Atiku, but we all know that he's speaking on behalf of TINUBU. Okay, and he believes that when it comes to the south, that his principal will have the highest chance of winning it. But does it follow that way? Some people have commented that it doesn't have to be rotational, but then there has been injustice in the past and it must be allowed to get to some people as well. So somebody is also making comment in the general comment section here. Most Nigerians agrees power should shift to the south for justice, fairness, and equity. The southeast should be the region to have it, otherwise you are selfish in your agitation. Okay, equity, justice, and fairness to the east or west or south drug case. Can you imagine? Or power shift, let it be southeast. And if it is for justice and equity, it should go to the southeast. Now, these are the comments people are saying that if it's for equity and justice, it should go to the southeast. The reason that I say this is because whether equity, justice, or fairness, there is also a high level of political influence and biasness in our system. And so there are big wigs that want to determine where power should go and who can make a lot of noise to determine where supporters should go. Sometimes Nigerians are follow people. That is gospel truth. Once somebody speaks, everybody follows him. So for those that have such influence to drag people along with them, they should be dragged along the line towards the southeast to make sure the power goes to southeast. But if we say power must come to the south and then it must go to the southwest, meanwhile southwest have been in power since 1999, no, then there's no justice there. It amounts to injustice. So this is what FFK is saying. Let's have your comment below in the comment section for sharing as well. And thank you for listening.